guys, and welcome back to another Star Wars figure review. Next up video we're going to take a look at another one of the figures from the Star Wars 40th Anniversary Collection line out of the Black Series, and today we'll be looking at Luke Skywalker. Now before we look at him, we'll take a look at the packaging this one comes in. As you can see, it's the same as the Darth Vader, which I just gave you a look at earlier. The vintage style card back, but this time with Luke Skywalker on Tatooine, from that famous moment where he's looking at the twin suns setting. On the back there again you have the same line with the other figures available in the waves, so as of filming this review only up to R2 is available, with the exception of Darth Vader, who is available with the Legacy pack, but several of these are available in earlier releases. If you're lucky to catch them, pick them up. And Wave 2 is set to come out very soon, so I'll have the figures out of that to review as well, because I actually have most of them ordered, ready to be delivered. So I'll be able to complete the Legacy stand, which we'll also have a look at once it's all assembled. And it as well has that 40th anniversary logo in the top corner there, which looks really nice, with the whole vintage card back, like even with the Kenner logo as well. Make it look back to its original look from when it was in the 1970s. So, yep, as you see there you go, there's the Legacy pack. So you can have a proper look at that. That's what it'll look like when I've got the stands ready. So yeah, so that's the packaging. They're good. Display there. So we'll look at the figure now. This figure is actually a repack of the Luke Skywalker that came out in the Black Series last year, which came out the wave with Ahsoka Tano, Kanan Jarrus and Jango Fett. But I missed that one unfortunately, so I'm glad Hasbro went out to releasing this one now. It's a bit weird why they didn't include him in the very first line with the Han Solo and I think Obi-Wan was in that, episode 3 Obi-Wan. I'm not sure, I didn't pay attention to most of those earlier lines, but I know they did release Pilot Luke back then. So, but we got him now, so we can't really complain. And just like the Leia, because there's Princess Leia out this line that was actually released earlier in the year as well. Let's get it off the shelf because I've got this version of Princess Leia. So you can have the two of them together there. This one has the soft goods with the tunic that he has when he's on Tatooine. And I think Hasbro kind of did something a little bit wrong with this. That was they made the tunic a little bit too bulky. So when you have him standing, it literally looks like he's wearing a bathrobe sometimes, or like a dressing gown, something like that, whatever you call it there. Because I did see Sith Lord 229 talk about that, and he kind of was telling the truth about that, but you can get it to a good enough position so it doesn't look so much like that, but it's hard to do so. And you see as well, like it really drapes over the side a lot. So yeah, that's something they probably could have fixed and made better, but it's not too much to complain about. Of course, it includes the Luke's lightsaber. Well, yeah, actually it's the Luke's version of it. This is the episode 4 version, because there are 3 different versions of this lightsaber, because there's subtle differences that make them identifiable, because the episode 5 and 7 version is different as well. Now, run down the articulation. You have a ball jointed neck, ball hinged shoulders, swivels at the biceps, double joints at the arms, ball hinged wrists, ball hinged torso, ball hinged hips, swivel triceps, double joints at the knees, and ball jointed ankles. So yeah, pretty much the same articulation as Leia. So I kind of like that addition. Like they've done the same thing. Like they've covered up the double joints with the tunic sleeves, so it hides it in the arms, because it looks it's really visible if you do it like that. There, of course, Luke mainly has it up that way anyway. And as well as his lightsaber, you also get a pair of macro binoculars, or just binoculars if that's what you call them. There we go. So you get a pair of these which just clip straight onto his belt with the aid of that clip there. And you can position them in his left hand, or his right hand or something like that. You can have him. It's quite hard to do this actually. There we go. So you can have him as his farm boy in Tatooine looking through the binoculars, or like there's the deleted scene from the original film, where Luke is on Tatooine on the moisture evaporators. He's just working on them with the droid, this weird caterpillar tracks droid thing. And what he does is he looks up at the sky, and then he stops and he actually gets his binoculars out and he's actually able to see. He looks up with his binoculars. I think I'll be able to do this. He looks up with his binoculars like that and he sees the battle with the Tantive 4 and the Star Destroyer Devastator from its aftermath at the Battle of Scarif occurring right above him, and then he puts them down, gets on his speeder and speeds away. So I'll just clip them back on the belt for now. There we go. It's not seeming to clip in. Right, I'll just leave it. Something quite unfortunate, well, a little bit of a shame that this figure didn't do, because the Han Solo from Episode 4 did this, and it was included a Stormtrooper belt, and you could actually interchange the belts, so you could take this one off. So you could take the regular one, or just like in the same example, you take this belt off, and you could replace it with a Stormtrooper belt, like when they're on the Death Star. Which would have been nice to do, and it would have also been good if they included the Stormtrooper blaster, which Luke does use, because the Leia figure does include it. But to be honest, that is his blaster. That is actually Luke's blaster, because he's the one using it in the first place. Because if it included that, you could do that, recreate that Star Wars Episode 4 poster where Luke is pointing his gun out to the audience, and you have Han and Leia on the side shooting, that kind of thing. But yeah, it's not too much to bother about, because you got the binoculars and the guns with Leia, so you can just do it like that. I'll try once again to get these on the belt. There we go. There you go. As you see, the facial sculpt as well, that's getting decent to make it the Episode 4 variant of Luke. So there you go. Just bounce it on there. Get the camera focus on that. There you go. There's Luke's Episode 4 variant with the camera focused directly on it. It's a good facial sculpt to capture Mark Hamill. So, and Hasbro get the credit for that. At least they can sculpt Luke better, unlike Leia. This is the Black Series version, not the 40th anniversary version. But I'm probably not going to get it anyway when it comes out. And the other thing you can do is there is a hook on Luke's belt, and what you can do is remove the lightsaber blade from the hilt, just like that, and then you can place it down on there, just like that. As you see, the Obi-Wan that I gave you a look at a few months back as well, that had the same lightsaber. So yeah, you actually if you did manage to get that one, again that's another one you don't have to get out of the 4th anniversary line. But you do get the spare lightsaber with that, so you got one, you can do whatever you want with it. So because my camera's going to run out very shortly, so there we go. I'll just position Luke back like that with the lightsaber. So that is the 40th anniversary Luke Skywalker figure. I enjoyed looking at him, and I shall be getting back into the review stage very soon. So I'll see you next time.